And from that day, he was never a sheep again. He was never a sheep again once he realized he was a lion. That's Anthony de Mello's story. That's Anthony de Mello's most important story. The lion realizes he's a lion. Hey, how are you doing? It's Alan here from Looking for Warriors, and I want to talk about one of the most important stories that Anthony de Mello ever told. Anthony de Mello was an Indian Jesuit who told some incredible stories. Now, let me tell you one of his stories. Let me tell you one of his most important story he ever told. And it's about sheep. It's about sheep. So a lion. Now, don't ask me, this is just part of the story. Don't ask me why a lion is attacking sheep. I thought it was generally fox that attacks sheep, but just go with the story. Just go with the story. There's a flock of sheep. There's a flock of sheep who are sitting and they're eating grass or whatever sheep do. They're walking around following each other, eating grass. And a lion turns up. And the lion jumps into this flock of sheep. The sheep kind of scarper, and as the sheep scarper, he notices a lion in the middle of the sheep. He notices there's a lion in the middle of the sheep. And the lion is acting like the rest of the sheep. He's following the other sheep. And the lion that jumps in is like shocked, and he goes over to him and goes, "What are you doing? Why are you among these sheep?" He says, "I am a sheep." He was brought up with the sheep. He never realized he was a lion. He was brought up just with the sheep and never realized that he was a lion. And he says, "No, you're not a sheep, you're a lion. You're not a sheep." He goes, No, I'm a sheep." So he grabs him. Guess he bites the back of his neck and carries him to a lake, a nearby lake. And he says, "Look in the lake." And the sheep lion looks in the lake and he sees a lion. He looks at his reflection for the first time and he sees a lion. And from that day, he was never a sheep again. He was never a sheep again once he realized he was a lion. That's Anthony de Mello's story. That's Anthony de Mello's most important story. The lion realizes he's a lion and he was never a sheep again. He doesn't tell the rest of the story. He doesn't tell the other part of the story. He leaves out the other part of the story. When the lion realizes he's a lion, this is the bit he leaves out. The lion realizes he's a lion and he goes back to his old life. He goes back to the sheep and looks around them and realizes they're all lions. Every single one of them is a lion. Every single one of them is a lion. And he tries to tell them. He says to them, "You are lions. We're all lions. We're not sheep at all. We're actually all lions." And the rest of them turn around to him and think he's crazy. "Who are you? You've changed. Who the hell are you? You've changed. What are you doing telling us we're lions? We're sheep, we're clearly sheep." And he's way outnumbered and it's driving him crazy. These are lions. I can see they're all lions. I can see into their heart. Every one of them is a lion's heart. They're like, no, you're crazy. You're crazy. He says, "Hey, we're lions. We're lions. The farmer doesn't own us. All we have to do is walk out of here. He's no power. That farmer has zero power. He cannot control a pack of lions. He can control a herd of sheep, but he cannot control a pack of lions. Let's see him try." And all the other lions turn around and go, No. We're sheep and we're safe here. We're safe here, my sheep. That's the bit that Anthony de Mello left out, and he can't convince them. And there's no point. And there's no point. And there's no point. And Anthony de Mello says, you don't try to teach a pig to sing. You don't try to teach a pig to sing. Or, said better, in another part of his book, he says, the wise master will not try to wake anybody up. The wise master will never try to wake anyone up. Because waking up is uncomfortable. Now, I'm saying this as someone who feels like, hey, I said in the previous video, it feels like, hey, I'm still asleep because I don't really get all of the scriptures. I don't understand all the scriptures. And I don't understand them. You're not really awake. But isn't it interesting? So the wise master is the master who does his dance, sings his song, enjoys the melody of each person, but doesn't try to change anyone. Never tries to wake anyone up. Doesn't try to change anybody. Doesn't try to convince anybody of anything. But also doesn't buy into all the labels, left and right, rich and poor, Muslim, Arab, Jew, Catholic, Protestant. Doesn't buy all the labels. Is awake to that. And the lion is wasting his time if he's trying to teach other sheep lions that they're lions. They either know it or not, or they don't. There's no way to convince someone. This has been Alan here from Looking for Warriors, talking about Anthony de Mello and one of his most important stories or parables. Do me a favour, subscribe to this channel and hit that like button.